In the heart of the Himalayas, shrouded in mist and myth, lies the hidden kingdom of Shambhala. For centuries, it has remained a legend. A paradise untouched by the outside world, ruled by a dynasty of wise and benevolent monarchs. But this story isn't just about a mythical kingdom. It's about a young woman named Elara, living an ordinary life in a bustling city, completely unaware of the extraordinary destiny that awaited her. Elara was a historian, a lover of ancient maps and forgotten tales. She spent her days in dusty libraries, tracing the lineages of kings and queens who had long since turned to dust. She often felt a strange sense of longing, a pull towards something she couldn't quite name. It was a feeling of being adrift, of not quite belonging. Little did she know, this feeling was a deep, ancestral echo calling her home. One rainy afternoon, while sorting through a collection of inherited antiques, she found it. Tucked away inside a hollowed-out book was a small, ornate, silver locket. It was unlike anything she'd ever seen. The surface was etched with intricate patterns, symbols she recognized from her most obscure texts. Her heart pounded as she pried it open. Inside, there wasn't a picture, but a tiny, rolled-up piece of parchment, brittle with age. Her hands trembled as she unfurled it. The script was ancient, but one she could decipher. It was a birth decree from the kingdom of Shambhala, naming her, Elara, as the sole heir to the throne. The decree explained that decades ago, during a period of great turmoil, the infant princess was sent away for her own safety, hidden in the outside world until the prophecy of the harmonious convergence could be fulfilled. The locket was the key, a beacon that would only reveal its secret when the time was right. It sounded like a fantasy, a fairy tale she might read about, but the locket in her hand was real. The parchment felt ancient. The pool in her heart suddenly made sense. Was this it? Was this the reason she always felt like a piece of her own history was missing? Dowd wrestled with a budding sense of wonder. Could she, Elara, a simple historian, truly be the lost princess of a legendary kingdom? Driven by a mix of scholarly curiosity and a desperate need for answers, Elara began her quest. Using her expertise in ancient cartography and folklore, she pieced together the clues hidden within the decree. It was a cryptic breadcrumb trail, leading her through forgotten pilgrim routes, ancient monasteries, and treacherous mountain passes. Her journey was far from easy. It tested her physical limits and her resolve. She faced blistering winds, navigated sheer cliffs, and learned to trust her intuition in a way she never had before. Along the way, she met Kale, a rugged mountain guide with eyes that held the wisdom of the peaks themselves. He was skeptical of her story at first, having heard countless tales of treasure hunters seeking Shambhala for its fabled riches, but he saw a different kind of fire in Elara's. Eyes not greed, but a search for truth, for identity. He saw the locket and recognized the royal seal. His own family were descendants of the kingdom's ancient guardians, sworn to protect the path and aid the heir when she returned. Together, they faced the final challenge. The Veil of Illusions, a mystical barrier that protected Shambhala from the outside world. It tested the heart and mind, projecting one's deepest fears and doubts. For Elara, it showed a life of comfortable anonymity, a world where she wasn't burdened by the weight of a crown. It tempted her with the simple, easy life she had known. But looking at Kale, and feeling the locket warm against her skin, she found her strength. She wasn't just a historian anymore. She was the hope of a kingdom. Pushing through the shimmering veil, they stepped into a world beyond imagination. Shambhala. It was a valley, bathed in a golden light, with crystalline rivers, glowing flora, and architecture that seemed to sing. The air hummed with a gentle, peaceful energy. The people of Shambhala, elegant and serene, emerged to greet her. They had been waiting. The elders, with their knowing smiles, recognized the royal insignia on her locket immediately. The prophecy had come true. The harmonious convergence was upon them, a celestial alignment said to usher in a new era of peace, and it required a ruler of the true bloodline on the throne. But her arrival was not celebrated by all. A high-ranking council member named Soren had grown powerful in the royal family's absence. He saw Elara not as a savior, but as a threat to his ambition. He believed the old ways and prophecies were outdated. He argued that Shambhala should embrace technology and power, even if it meant revealing itself to the outside world for a strategic advantage. He publicly challenged Elaire's right to rule, claiming her time in the outside world had corrupted her, making her unfit to lead their pure, isolated society. Ilara was now faced with her greatest test. This wasn't about navigating a mountain. It was about navigating the hearts and minds of her people. She didn't challenge Soren with force, but with the wisdom she had unknowingly cultivated her whole life. She used her historian's knowledge to remind them of their own history, the triumphs of their ancestors who valued harmony over power. She spoke of the beauty and the flaws of the outside world, not as a corrupted outsider, but as someone who understood both realms. She argued that Shambhala's strength wasn't in its isolation, but in its wisdom. It had a gift to offer the world, not through conquest, but through example. She proposed a new path forward, not a complete opening of the gates, nor a fearful hiding away, but a gentle sharing of knowledge, a way to inspire peace and balance beyond their borders without sacrificing their sacred way of life. Her vision was one of connection, not control. Her sincerity, her wisdom, and a profound love for a kingdom she had only just discovered won over the people, and even some of Soren's own supporters. They saw in her not an outsider, but the perfect bridge between their ancient heritage and the future. She was the embodiment of the harmonious convergence itself. Defeated in his bid for power, Soren was exiled, not with anger, but with the hope that he too might one day find balance. Ilara, the Forgotten Heir, the city-dwelling historian, took her rightful place on the throne of Shambhala. Her coronation wasn't just the crowning of a queen, it was the dawn of a new age. She ruled with the empathy of an outsider and the wisdom of her ancestors, guiding her hidden kingdom as it began to carefully, gently, share its light with a world that desperately needed it. And in doing so, the girl who always felt lost had finally found her true home. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this journey to the heart of a hidden kingdom, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more stories that explore the line between myth and reality. See you next time.